Coronation Street fans are gearing up for more emotional scenes as Gemma Winter Brown grapples with her grief following the heartbreaking death of her twin brother, Paul Foreman. The latest storyline takes a closer look at Gemma's struggle to move forward after Paul's tragic battle with motor neuron disease, MND, which culminated in his death last month. While the Brown Winter family has already endured plenty of heartache, it appears that Gemma is still reeling from the devastating loss, with upcoming episodes highlighting the impact of her grief on her everyday life and relationships. Paul's storyline has been one of the most poignant and impactful on Coronation Street in recent years. The character, played by actor Peter Ashe, was diagnosed with MND 18 months ago, and fans have watched as Paul courageously faced his terminal illness. The show's exploration of MND, a progressive disease that affects the nerves and muscles, has been widely praised for its sensitive and realistic portrayal. Paul's diagnosis not only affected him, but also sent ripples through his family, especially his twin sister, Gemma. Paul's death left a huge void in the lives of his loved ones. His husband, Billy Mayhew, and mother, Bernie Winter, have each struggled to come to terms with their loss in different ways. While the focus has often been on how Paul's death has impacted his immediate family, attention is now turning to Gemma, who has been doing her best to hold things together. But cracks are beginning to show. In the wake of Paul's death, Gemma is visibly struggling to cope with her grief, and her worries about her family's safety are intensifying. In upcoming episodes, viewers will see Gemma growing increasingly anxious about her young son, Joseph. The tension between Gemma and her husband, Sidney Brown, reaches a new level when Gemma reveals that she doesn't want Joseph to attend his school's upcoming skiing trip. Her reluctance is driven by a deep-seated fear of something happening to her son, a reflection of the trauma she's still processing after losing her twin brother. Chesney quickly realizes that Gemma's refusal to let Joseph go is not merely about the trip itself, but stems from the overwhelming grief she's experiencing. Her fear of losing another loved one has manifested in an overprotectiveness that is causing friction within the family. Chesney tries to comfort his wife and reassure her that Joseph will be safe, but Gemma's emotions remain raw. In a touching moment, Joseph, noticing the strain between his parents, offers to forgo the trip in order to spare his mother any additional stress. His selflessness, though heartfelt, highlights the tension that grief has placed on the family, and it raises the question: will Gemma be able to put her fears aside for Joseph's sake? As the days go by, those closest to Gemma grow increasingly concerned for her well-being. In conversation with Jenny Connor and Chesney, the topic of whether Gemma might return to work is raised. Gemma has been absent from her job at the Rover's return since Paul's passing, and while some believe that returning to work could help her find a sense of normalcy, Chesney insists that it's too soon. Chesney's protectiveness over Gemma is well-intentioned, but the question remains: is he right to shield her from returning to work? Gemma, known for her resilience and headstrong personality, might not agree with her husband's cautious approach. Will she decide to take her first steps back into the world of work, or will she continue to focus on her healing process at home? While Gemma's storyline takes center stage in the coming episodes, she isn't the only one still grappling with Paul's death. Paul's husband, Billy, and his mother, Bernie, have been at odds over how best to honor Paul's memory. The tension between the two has played out in recent weeks, with Billy favoring a more traditional memorial, while Bernie pushes for something more unconventional, a celebration that better reflects Paul's vibrant personality. In an interview with Digital Spy, Peter Ashe, the actor behind Paul, weighed in on how his character would have wanted his life to be remembered. "Do you know what? He'd like a bit of both," Ashe said. "Old Paul, absolutely, rave all day long. But since marrying Billy and finding his faith, I think he'd like both sides of it. So it's like, why can't we have both?" Paul's character development over the years, from a carefree, rebellious spirit to someone who found love in faith, makes it clear that he would have appreciated a mix of tradition and celebration. His family's differing views on how to commemorate him reflect the complexity of grief and the challenge of honoring a loved one's wishes while navigating one's own sense of loss.